I think some of the bigger questions that I had for the Commissioner, Dan Schinhofen, is more specifically targeted towards the business and economic development. That's where the challenge is. We have a lot of people who are living in our county that, and especially in Pahrump, they want to go shopping. They want to be able to drive a couple blocks and do the shopping without having to go over the hill. So the pointed question is what are we really doing to attract an economic development for businesses that can nurture us who are living in this valley so that we don't have to continually go over the hill? And there's a lot of, I just did a poll on Facebook yesterday, what's more important, a shopping center or a movie theater complex? It was pretty much divided. And I really think that, a movie theater complex has a lot of other little stores and activities that people can do to entertain themselves, to give themselves a bit of a life. What can and this also helps the commissioners and it helps the county because the tax dollars that come from this helps everybody. So I don't know what you're working on, but what could be done, I feel, is an extended effort to reaching out to specific types of businesses, drop all the barriers, drop the gloves, forget the water thing. There's more than enough water, in my opinion, to get things going here in Pahrump. So what are you doing?
Okay, good question. We have an economic development group now called Increda. They're accredited with the state, therefore we can ask for tax breaks and some of those things.
Can or cannot?
We can now.
Okay,
we
can,
did not.
Yes.
We did not in the past.
Okay.
Commissioner Carboni's been going through the planning section and has tried and has brought forward a lot of changes that will help that. Ultimately, the people who want to locate here and how we make it more attractive. If we didn't have all this nonsense going out over the airwaves, that would help us a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? To be fair, I am staying away from that because I wanted to address that tonight, but I said I wouldn't. But I am very upset about that because it is hurting this community. This nonsense has to stop.
And let me get back. And it's not just that. When I hear about that, when another elected official says something bad about this board or that, it gets press. It looks like we're a dysfunctional family, and that's not how I see it. My first response on those things is it's bad for the county.
And then it gets spoon-fed to the Vegas media outlets so that it makes us look even worse.
Yeah,
it's dumb. Stop it. It's dumb.
So we have a lot of good, positive things. We've done some good, positive things. Ultimately, government doesn't create jobs. We're not going to create jobs. The only jobs we create are government jobs. How we deal with businesses, we're working in that. The biggest reason we haven't seen the growth that we would like to see is the economy overall stinks, and it's hard for people to get loans. A lot of the money that the developments that are going on now is because those people have money. We've got the Big Five's breaking ground. That's going in. Part of the Raceway project outside the gates there is movie theaters, restaurants, and hotels, and that'll bring money from outside. Again, that instead of taxing the people living here, people are going to bring money from outside here, and that's a good thing. So we're working in that direction. Any ideas you got, anything you think we can do, let's talk. Let me know. I've met with on some of the travels. I've met with the vice president of Caterpillar, talked to him. See, I'm not going to go on and mention some people I've talked to. We've talked to some of these people. Some of the people that are interested, now they're going to say Caterpillar's moving here. They're not, okay? But I have met a lot of big business people and try to attract them here. We're trying to attract them here with Yucca Mountain when it comes online and the train line that's going to come in there. Boom, we got everything we need. So I don't have any short answers for you, you know. I want the same things you want. But to be fair, where I moved and bought at the end of Homestead, it's 20 minutes to a grocery store. I'm fine with that.
Well,
I'm fine with that. But I try to spend, and my wife does too, we try to do all our shopping here. But there are some things we got to go over the hill for. And that's what you're talking about, I think. And that's what we're working towards.
And there's always going to be things that we have to go over the hill for, Dan. There always will be. But there's a lot of things that we can have right here. There's no sense for our family members to have to drive in a car to go 120 miles round trip to spend the gas mileage, the gas expense, to drive the miles that it takes to get there. And each time you do that, it creates more risk for car accidents. It creates more insurance cost. And we can have these things right here. And I'd love to see a proactive, very strong commissioner, proactive attraction to this area. And that's what needs to take place. And what gets me the most is that when I see stories and stuff like this last week come out, you know, and spoon-fed to the media's out in Vegas, and then we get shot in the foot because people believe that this is a bunch of yahoos out here, and then nobody wants to come into Pahrump because they feel that this is not a sane place to operate and function as a business. And that's what drives me absolutely nuts as a business owner, coming from a business perspective.
Yep.
And it's because I depend on it. I depend on advertisers to advertise so that I can go out, and when I get an advertiser in, I go out and do a story on the Girl Scouts, the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, if it's the Red Hatters, if it's a function or event. Every story we do at KPVM costs us $125 for every story we produce, from the time that the person picked up the camera, to get in the car, to buy the insurance, to buy the fuel, to pay for the employees' wages, to pay for the camera, to pay for the expenses of editing it, to bring it back, to put it on the air, all that. And we need more people to be here so that we can do more for the community. It just helps the community all in all. It creates more tax dollars for you. And that's why it really needs to be, you guys are the ones that have to say, we will do whatever it takes to get businesses here so that we can become economically sound.
I think that was one of my first statements, right? It's a legal business. You want to invest in this county. Commissioner's moving something forward, and we're trying to get the details of it, and you know how, you know, see how we could support it, and then somebody says, well, you know, my road, and you haven't done anything, so yeah, I'm not doing anything. It gets frustrating, sure, but I look back over the last 3.5 years. I made a list of, at the request of my people helping me with my campaign. We really have accomplished some good things. We got a long way to go. We can get better. But we have accomplished good things. And when you talked about driving to Vegas and then back, please fill up here, and then don't fill up down there, fill up here again. Mm-hmm. The more I got my wife to do this after the first year we moved here. It was like 2 cents cheaper at that time, so she'd fill up down there. And I explained to her, that's how we get money for roads, hon. You need to fill up here. So any chance you get, fill up in Nye County, please. We can use the help. So all that revenue that could come in doesn't mean to raise your taxes. It doesn't mean everything has to be on the backs of everybody living here. You bring those businesses in, particularly the ones that'll bring in tourists, they're going to drop money here and go away.
All right, so is the commission, the current commission board that's in place, is it a forward-moving machine, or is it not unisons?
We're not always in unison, but I believe the majority of us have shown that we are moving forward. You can always, again, you need 2 other commissioners to agree with you, and I believe on 90% of the things that I've thought are good, that we're moving this thing forward. We have had the 3 votes we need. So rarely are you going to get 5 votes on every item.
And that's okay. I mean, that's good to have.
That's what it's about.
That's healthy.
There's a group of people who aren't agreeing on any one subject. So, you know, do our best to represent the people that we're supposed to represent. We're a republic, not a democracy. It's not mob rule.
Do you like the fact that KPVM is there recording your meetings now and presenting them to the public?
Yeah, it's great. I'm glad it's out there live. I'm not afraid. You know that. I occasionally, you know, I'll say something that I think is funny, and then it doesn't come out funny. But I mean, I'm up front. I'm not afraid of the cameras. I'm not afraid if somebody say you said. Yeah, it's good. It's good to have that.
All right. When we come back, we're going to have another guest come in for a bit.
Had enough of me.
That's
No,
it.
I'd like to thank you for coming on.
That's
I
all we
mean,
can have. But, huh?
We'd like to thank him for coming on.
Yeah.
We wish you
Thank you very
success.
much. Good luck on your campaign, and we'll see you again.
See, that was one of those minutes.
After the primary, we'll see you again.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
okay.
We'll be right back after these messages.